In the city that never sleeps, you will find so many fun activities to experience that you won't actually want to sleep yourself. I take you on a city trip to a city that is always moving and always alive. This time, I take you on a trip to New York. But before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe. There's something for everyone in the Big Apple. Of course, you will want to visit the Statue of Liberty, Times Square, and the Brooklyn Bridge. But there are many more things, known and unknown, to do in New York. Empire State Building. New York State is also known as the Empire State. That is why New York City former tallest tower is called the Empire State Building. At 443 meters, the Empire State Building was the tallest tower in the world until 1971. When visiting New York, viewing the city from the top of a skyscraper is a must-do, and the Empire State Building is a great place to see it. The view to downtown Manhattan is fantastic. Times Square. Touristic or not, Times Square is of course a must-see. It doesn't get any busier and more screaming than that. By the way, the world's most famous square is named after the former headquarters of the Times newspaper at the square. Brooklyn Bridge. Tourists used to get no further than the Brooklyn Bridge, but now that Brooklyn is up and coming, then Brooklyn Bridge, besides being a beautiful bridge, is also the gateway to the previously shadowy neighborhood south of Manhattan. Central Park. Running, people watching, picnicking, or having a coffee at the Boathouse Cafe, Central Park, twice the size of the state of Monaco. It also is a must-visit for every tourist and resident in New York. One World Trade Center plus 9/11 Memorial Museum. At 541 meters tall, the One World Trade Center, which opened in 2014, is, again, New York's tallest building. The 9/11 Memorial is one of the things not to be missed in New York. On site of the 2001 disaster, you can dwell on this tragic event. Where the Twin Towers once stood, now lies Memorial reflecting absence. Two large ponds with the names of the deceased symbolizing hope and renewal. A place that still gives you goosebumps so many years later. St. Patrick's Cathedral. New York's cathedral is special not only because it is one of the largest in the world, but also stands in the middle of a metropolis full of skyscrapers. The towers in front are over 100 meters high. Helicopter tour. It is definitely not cheap, but it really is worth every penny, taking a helicopter flight over Manhattan. It is bizarre how small those skyscrapers suddenly look when you fly above them all in helicopter. Most flights last 10 or 20 minutes and, of course, that time flies by once you're in the air. Statue of Liberty. Don't be shocked, but Statue of Liberty is not that big as you might think. At only 46 meters, the statue disappoints many tourists, but you simply must have seen it, right? Besides, the ferry ride to it is already a beautiful experience. Also, take a look at the Ellis Island. Broadway Musical. The world's biggest musical stars are on stage in Broadway, but there are also plenty of small theaters with lesser-known shows and emerging talent. Go see for yourself. Williamsburg. The trendiest neighborhood in groovy Brooklyn is Williamsburg. Where once people did not want to be found alive, they are now drinking flat wine and spray paint street art. Gospel in Harlem. A bucket list moment for many tourists. Attend a gospel show at a church in Harlem. Book one of the gospel tours and imagine yourself in Sister Act for a while. Baseball game. North of Harlem is the Bronx, from Jenny, where it is home to Yankees Stadium. The ultimate introduction to American sports, attending a baseball game of the New York Yankees. Eating cupcakes at the Magnolia Bakery. Countless series and films have been shot in New York, but Sex and the City is perhaps the most famous. Since Sex and the City, the Magnolia Bakery has been immensely popular. Pick up a cupcake at the Greenwich Village branch and immediately walk past Carrie's house on Perry Street. Top of the Rock. On the top of the Rockefeller Center, you might have the best view of the city. Not only can you see Central Park, you can also take the best photos of the Empire State Building from there. Wall Street. Don't we all want to feel like the Wolf of Wall Street for a while? At the southern tip of Manhattan, you will find New York's financial district, with Wall Street as the financial main street. A photo with the bull is part of the deal. Chinatown. Every major city pretty much has a Chinatown, but the one in New York is currently the biggest in North America, and therefore even bigger than the one in San Francisco. A Chinese meal here tastes better than ever. Chelsea Market. Is Chinese not quite your thing? Then you will find plenty of alternatives at Chelsea Market. Nice detail, the famous Oreo biscuit was invented here. Shopping. Fifth Avenue is world famous, and with department stores such as Saks, Bergdorf Goodman, and Macy's, you can shop endlessly. Much more fun is shopping in Soho, where you will find fewer department stores and more boutiques. Take the metro to Prince Street or Spring Street and dive into Soho's small streets where hip, vintage, modern, cheap, and exclusive alternative. Central Library. Do you also immediately think of the film The Day After Tomorrow? Or Carrie and Mr. Big's wedding? The Central Library is often used in films for a reason, so be sure to take a look. Ice skating at Rockefeller. Surely the advantage of going to New York in autumn is the skating rink at Rockefeller. Hopefully, if it has just snowed, it doesn't get more romantic and a bit cliche than this. Art museums. The most beautiful art in the world can be seen in one of New York's top museums: MoMA, Metropolitan Museum of Art, the Met, or Guggenheim. The buildings themselves are beautiful, but the artwork are, of course, the crowning glory. Soho, West Village, East Village, and Meatpacking District. Something a little different from the landmarks and skyscrapers. In these quaint neighborhoods in Lower Manhattan, you will experience the New York of the locals. Find trendy restaurants and Airbnbs here. Most beautiful walk, the Lower Manhattan Loop. Do the Lower Manhattan Walk, a beautiful walk along the water with views of special places, such as the Freedom Tower, the Statue of Liberty, and the Brooklyn skyline, and the famous bridges on the East River. This is also a great route for runners, as you won't encounter any traffic lights along the way. Grand Central Terminal. Play Serena from Gospel Girl or enjoy the hustle and bustle of the 44 platform counting station. Utrecht Central is nothing like it. Bryant Park. A change from Central Park is Bryant Park in Midtown Manhattan. Have a coffee, go ice skating in winter, or just watch passers-by. Staten Island Ferry. Not because Staten Island is necessarily amazing right now, but because the boat ride there, and especially the way back to Manhattan, is breathtaking. It is the city's energy that makes it extra extraordinary to be here. The streets, the buildings, the people, everything seems to be buzzing with energy. Definitely worth a visit. I hope my tips will help you organize a nice city trip. And don't forget to like and subscribe. See you on the next trip.